Box in the Morning on ESPN Radio. I'm George Klein with Joe and Max, and we're here to talk about our MLB predictions as the trade deadline approaches, and we're also going to cover some NBA, who can take down the Heat. Well, now with the trade deadline nearing, teams are starting to gear up for the playoff hunt. Joe, who do you think is going to make a charge to the playoffs?
Oh, definitely the Red Sox. They definitely need some more rotation help. Probably look for a team in like Milwaukee to dump a John Axford, or maybe even the Phillies try and get rid of Jonathan Papelbon. Depends on if they want to try and rebuild or not, or try and make a surge. So the Phillies could also be someone that makes a late push in the trade deadline. I've heard that the A's are trying to get a second base, so you might see Chase Utley be going there. And the Pirates are looking for a first baseman or a right fielder.
Well, I know as a Cubs fan myself, the Cubs are trying to trade away bad contracts. We've seen them trying to deal Alfonso Soriano to the Yankees. Matt Garza's going to the Rangers. And Theo Epstein's strategy, it seems, is to load up on these international talents. So the Cubs are definitely big buyers. So for any team that needs any rotation help, heck, we'll even trade Edwin Jackson, even though we just signed him to a 4-year contract. He hasn't been great, so his trade value is low, but you never know on the Cubs who's going to be traded. And Max, who do you think is going to retool?
Well, I think the Rangers already have, but I think Matt Garza is going to be a huge help for them, because like they did a couple years ago where they made it to the World Series with trading for Cliff Lee in the middle of the year, I think Matt Garza might be able to do the same thing for them and be a big starting pitcher who can help them to the World Series.
And right now we're going to call up an MLB expert to talk about the trade deadline with us. We have Ben here, who knows quite a lot about the Major League Baseball. Ben, who do you think is going to trade, or what do you think is going to happen at the deadline?
Well, I think the Red Sox, I think the Red Sox do need to make a move, but it's kind of, the Red Sox need to make a decision whether to trade away some of their prospects and go for all out in this year, or keep their prospects, try to get some not crazy quality good pitcher, and save up for the future with all these prospects. They have Will Middlebrooks at third base, who could possibly be used as trade bait, but it's going to be interesting to see what the Red Sox end up coming to make a decision about.
Thank you so much for joining the show, Ben. You provide a lot of insight. And now to the NBA. Miami, as we all know, repeated as champions last year. Is there any team that can possibly take down this dominating franchise? Joe, who do you think has a shot, or the best shot?
I say it's going to be the Pacers. Like the Pacers right now, they have a good starting five. They got George Hill, Paul George, who's really emerged, along with Roy Hibbert, David West, and they're also getting back Danny Granger, who was injured for the majority of last season. And they have a great bench. They got C.J. Watson from the Brooklyn Nets. They got Lance Stevenson returning, and they also added Chris Cooperland from the New York Knicks. So I think they're going to be the best.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about Indiana and Chicago. For me, if Derrick Rose is healthy, then I do believe that the Bulls have a better chance, because the one thing that the Heat had trouble with in the playoffs and all regular season really is dominating point guards. And if Derrick Rose can provide his quickness and agility to the same level before the ACL injury, I think Chicago, just simply because of that, has the best shot. We're going to have to wrap this up. For my partners Joe and Max, I'm George, and thank you for joining us at Box in the Morning.